Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John, and today what I thought I would do is just show you guys a few of the books. I got about 6 books here. Just some of the books that I've accumulated in like the past maybe 3 weeks to a month. Alright, so before I begin with that though, if you'll notice that right here I've got a Halloween card, and right here there's a green Halloween card that says Boo on it. So the first Halloween card is from Regina St. Clair, and she sent this to me whenever she sent me a copy, and I'm going to talk about the book in just a minute, so we'll get to that. But anyway, she sent me this, and it's got the pumpkin and Happy Halloween, and she says, I hope you have a fantastic Halloween, and has a little heart, and Regina, Batilda, Lily, and Lucky. Alright, and she's got little drawings of her dogs here. And I appreciate that. That's really great. Really awesome. So thank you very much, Regina. Alright. Okay, let me put this back up here and hopefully, and I sure as did. I did exactly what I tried not to do. Alright. Stay. Okay. And then next I've got, and if you can tell, there is one particular horror tuber that loves this color green, and if you haven't guessed who it is by now, it's Pax Panic. I got the envelope was the same color. I didn't even have to look at the name on the envelope. I said, this is from Pax. I knew it was from Pax, and it's very simple, but I love it. It's got the sticker, it says Boo, and then Happy Halloween John, and some more stickers on here. Nice and simple, and I love it. Thank you, Pax. Thank you very much. Alright, so now that I've shown off those things, let's go ahead and start talking about the books. Okay, so the first one is two of these. The first two are actually by fellow booktubers. So the first one is from Nicholas Gray, and this is Nicholas Gray's Halloween Tales. Alright. And this is a novella, or not a novella, but it's a series of short stories. It's very short, in fact. It's only 53 pages. Okay. Let's see. The stories are Trunk or Treat, Plastic Fangs, The Hearse, The Perfect Mask, and Smashing Pumpkins. Alright. So, yeah, he sent me this, and I'm going to read it, and I'll give him a nice, honest review for it. So, thank you, Nick. And if you don't know Nick's channel is Spooky Noodles. And if you're not following Nick, you need to be following Nick. He's an awesome guy, and he deserves the subscribers, okay? So there you go. Alright, so let me put that over here, move over. Alright, the next one from my next fellow booktuber. Now, I have read this book already. I read it on ebook. I loved it. I gave it an awesome review because it deserves an awesome review. This is from Regina St. Clair, or R. St. Clair. This is Code Red. And the way I describe this is Southern Fried Vampire Fun. And that is exactly what it is. It's scary. But man, it is some Southern Fried, like I said, Southern Fried Vampire Fun. Here we go. The vampires are running the asylum, Wormwood Asylum, a private mental hospital located in Southwest Virginia. Specializes in treating adolescent psychoses, including Renfield syndrome, an obsession with drinking blood. But when a young patient is committed because he believes he's a vampire, it turns out he wasn't lying, and soon rapacious revenants are running rampant through the rural mountain community. To fight the bodacious bloodsuckers, the local sheriff teams up with a candy striper and her moonshiner grandpa, who just happens to have an arsenal of war-grade weapons stored in his prepper bunker for a bloody country hoedown of epic proportions. And again, it's one of those, if you have not read this, you need to read it. If you love vampires, this is the book for you, okay? And if you're not subscribed to Regina's channel, I don't know what's wrong with you, because you really need to be subscribed. She's awesome. Very wonderful lady and very knowledgeable booktuber when it comes to horror, okay? All right. Now let's move on to just the books that I did not acquire from booktubers. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is a book of folk horror, and this is Loot, and this is by Jennifer Thorne. On the idyllic island of Loot, every 7th summer, 7 people die. No more, no less. Loot and its inhabitants are blessed year after year with good weather, good health, and good fortune, despite the war that rages all around them. So it's only half fair that every 7 years, on the day of the tithe, the island's gift is honored. American Nina Treadway is new to Loot. She became a lady through her marriage to Lord Treadway, whose family has long protected the island. Nina's heard about the day, of course, but she thinks it's all superstitious nonsense. Stories told to keep newcomers at bay and youngsters in line. Then the day begins, and it's a day of nightmares, of grief, of reckoning, but it's also a day of community, of survival and strength, of love at its most pure and untamed. When the day ends, Nina and Loot will never be the same. And that's Loot. Alright. Okay, next up I've got an anthology. And this is Screams from the Dark. And it says here 29 Tales of Monsters and the Monstrous. And this has stories by Stephen Graham Jones, Caitlin R. Kiernan, Joe R. Lansdale, Joyce Carol Oates, and more. It is edited by Ellen Datlow. Let's see, some of the other writers on here are, let's see, Nathan Ballingrud, Christy DeMeester, John Langan, Cassandra Caw, Gemma Files, Daryl Gregory, and that's just to name a few. Alright, and then it Screams from the Dark. And let me see, I'll give you the titles of a few of these. Let me find the table of contents. Alright. Okay, so the first story to start it off is You Have What I Need. There is What is Love But the Quiet Moments After Dinner by Richard Kadrey. The first one is by Ian Rogers. The Smell of Waiting by Karen Warren. Now Voyager by Olivia Llewellyn, The Last Drop by Carol Johnstone, and Three Mothers Mountain by Nathan Ballingrud. Alright, and there's like I said, there's 29 stories in there. Okay, next up we've got from Rachel Harrison. I've never read Rachel Harrison, but as soon as I saw that she had written a werewolf novel, I had to grab it. And this is Such Sharp Teeth, a werewolf novel, and it's by Rachel Harrison. Okay. Rory Morris isn't thrilled to be moving back to her hometown, even if it's only temporary. There are bad memories there, but her twin sister Scarlett is pregnant, estranged from the baby's father, and needs support. So Rory returns to the place she thought she put in her rear view. After a night out at a bar where she runs into Ian, an old almost flame, she hits a large animal with her car, and when she gets out to investigate, she's attacked. Rory survives miraculously, but life begins to look and feel different. She is unnaturally strong with an aversion to silver, and suddenly the moon has her in its thrall. She's changing into someone else, something else, maybe even a monster. But does that mean she's putting those close to her in danger, or is embracing the wildness inside her the key to acceptance? Like I said, that is Such Sharp Teeth. It's a werewolf novel, as it says. Okay. And next I've got Daphne. And this is by Josh Mallerman. Okay. It's the last summer for Kit Lamb, the last summer before college, the last summer with her high school basketball team and with her best friend, the last summer before her life begins. But on the eve of the big game, one of the other players tells a ghost story about Daphne, a girl who went to their school many years ago and died under mysterious circumstances. Some say that she was murdered, others that she died by her own hand, and some say that Daphne is a murderer herself. They also say that Daphne is still out there, obsessed with her revenge, and will rematerialize to kill again. As her teammates begin to vanish one by one, Kit comes to suspect that the stories about Daphne are real, and to fear that her own mind is conjuring the killer. Now it's a race against time as Kit searches for the truth behind the legend and learns to face her own fears before the summer of her lifetime becomes the last summer of her life. And that is Daphne. Josh Malerman. Okay. And last but not least, I've got, and I've heard so many booktubers talking about this one. Anyway, this is Old Country. And this is by Matt Query and Harrison Query. They are brothers, a brother duo of writers. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Says, based on the Reddit sensation, a horror thriller of a young couple who buys the perfect secluded house only to discover the terror within. It's the house of their dreams. Former Marine Harry and his wife Sasha have packed up their life and their golden retriever Dash and fled the corporate rat race to live off the land in rural Idaho. Their breathtaking new home sits on more than 40 acres of meadow, aspen trees, and pine forests in the Teton Valley. Even if their friends and family think it's a strange choice for an up-and-coming pair of urban professionals, Harry and Sasha couldn't be happier about the future they're building, all by their lonesome. That is until their nearest neighbors, Dan and Lucy Steiner, come bearing more than housewarming gifts. Dan and Lucy warn Harry and Sasha of a malevolent spirit that lives in the valley, one that with every season will haunt them in fresh, ever more diabolical ways. At first it seems like an old wives' tale, but when spring arrives, so does the first evil manifestation, challenging everything Harry and Sasha thought they knew about the world. As each season passes, the spirit grows stronger, the land more sinister, and each encounter more dangerous. Will Harry and Sasha learn the true meaning of a forever home before it's too late? Haunting and bone-chilling, Old Country is a spellbinding debut in the horror genre. And that is Old Country. And that is by Matt and Harrison Query. Alright, and that's going to do it. That is the books that I've accumulated in the last maybe 3 weeks or so. Anyway, I want to get back to making a book video. I know I've been making the movie videos, and I still got quite a few to do for that one. It's what I get for doing 50 years of horror fiction instead of, or not horror, of horror movies, instead of deciding on 25. So I'm in it for the long haul. And that's alright. If you guys enjoy the videos, that's what counts for me. And I like talking about the movies, so why should I stop making them or stop making the videos? Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and take care and stay scared. Thank you. Bye-bye.